What's going on, people? So today we're going to talk about not such a hot topic. I've searched the net everywhere to see if this has been an ongoing issue, but it doesn't seem that big of a problem. But this did happen to me, and this is why I'm sending back my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera. So let me tell y'all about the story of how this came about. So I got this camera a little over a month or two ago, ordered from Adorama. I have been going back and forth on actually ordering it because I have the Sony a7 III, I had a Canon Mark IV, and those are kind of my workhorses. I don't have any problem with those cameras, but I was really looking into getting into the cinema world. So I've been back and forth looking at the Canon C200, looking at the Red Ravens, looking at the Geminis, really looking at a lot of cinema cameras, trying to see what was going to be my next step as far as a purchase of a cinema camera. Typically when I go out on my jobs, I'm either doing one or the other. And I hate being on a video job and being asked to do photos, and on a photo job being asked to do videos. So I want to separate the worlds. Also, just to bring down some of the complications in my life. I love having both, and I will always probably take both, but there's a time and a place where you need a video camera to be the best video camera it can be, and a photo camera to be the best photo camera that it can be. And this is where I'm at in my career and in my life. So enough with kind of like the thought process of behind me getting this camera. But yeah, so I finally made the decision. I purchased this camera and I loved it. I'm actually impressed by this camera. The price point made me skeptical. I seen it at NAB and I was impressed, but I didn't use it, so I didn't know what it was really capable of. How would it work in my workflow and what I could actually get out of it. When I first seen this camera, it didn't have the B-RAW or the Blackmagic RAW, what it is called, but there were also a lot of negative concepts behind it. A lot of people talked about the battery life. A lot of people talked about the cheapness of the feeling of the camera. A lot of people complained about the LCD. It was just complaints on complaints on complaints. And for me, it didn't make me confident in this camera. And like I say, I pretty much had these two other cameras that worked perfectly fine for me, and I got all my work done with them, and they made so much money for me, so I didn't really have a need for a third camera. And to be honest, I had just sold one of my third cameras, so I had the a7 III. I sold that to a friend. Like I say, I've always had 3 cameras, and I was complaining about having too many cameras. And it brings me back to now having 3 cameras once again. And now I kind of understand why I do have 3 cameras. But I don't need 3 cameras that shoot photos and videos. I need a camera for everything. I want a camera for each side of my business that I do. I do YouTube, I do photography, I do video. Give me 3 cameras that are for each. And that's what I have. But enough with that story. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, so I have to send back this Blackmagic because the power port is damaged. Wait, I know everyone's gonna say, well, maybe you plugged it in wrong. Maybe you tried shoving it in too much. Or maybe you just didn't notice that you messed this up. No, people. I purchased this camera a month ago. Never, ever did I touch the power port on this camera. One reason is because I haven't even taken this camera out to a shoot. I've kind of just been playing with this camera for personal use, getting used to it, little quick shoots here and there for me personally. Mainly because I haven't had a need to plug this into the wall or use a 12-volt adapter to go into a V-mount. I don't even own the adapter yet. I've been simply using this with my Canon LP batteries. Luckily, me having a Canon 5D Mark IV, I have plenty of these batteries laying around, so that's all I've been powering it off of. So the reason I came across this problem is I was getting ready to upgrade this camera to the latest firmware and grabbed the power cable, got ready to plug it in, and found out that the prongs were damaged. And yes, like I said, before I stuck the power plug in, I looked at the prongs and seen that they were a little off. This kind of made me question plugging it in but I still gave it a try. Upon plugging it in, there was no shot that this was gonna work. So immediately I freaked out. I went, grabbed my phone, pulled up my account on Adorama to see how far I was out of the date of the return. Unfortunately, I was 2 days out. But I will say, Adorama having great customer service. I reached out to them, talked to one of their associates, and they set me up with a return. They allowed me to exchange or get a cashback return. I'm definitely going to exchange this camera out and get a new one, but I'm so glad that they understood what was going on and was happy enough to fix the problem. For me, at first, I was going to just consider keeping the camera and not worrying about the return when I figured out I was 2 days behind. But also the other reason was I know in the future I will need this 12-volt plug because I plan on rigging out the camera. That's the reason why I bought this camera, to set it up in some type of cinema rig with rails, with a V-mount, something that I can go on a shoulder rig with or break down and then go on my Ronin S. This camera was perfect for this. But without that 12-volt power adapter, I would never be able to V-mount this camera or update it to an AC wall plug. I went on and gave them a call, and like I say, they took care of me. So I'll be sending out this camera soon and be waiting on a new one. The biggest worry right now, these cameras are very popular and they are on back order. I'm hoping that I can get this camera back pretty quick, but I just wanted to kind of share my story with y'all about the issue I had. I do have a picture or like a video that my friend Brandon, he also has a Blackmagic, and he didn't have any issues with his camera, but when he got his camera, it had a weird rubbing off mark on one of the rubber stoppers on it. So it also showed me that this is something that could have happened during manufacturing, and this definitely wasn't an issue that I caused. I wasn't that worried because Adorama agreed to go ahead and replace the camera. They didn't want to refurbish or fix it, and I'm happy that they're going to do that for me because I don't want a camera that I just bought a month ago to come back just fixed. I would love to have a new one that works perfectly fine. And like I say, this one does. I love it. It shoots well. It's good, but I do want that port to work because I will need it in the future. So yeah, guys, that's just the reason I'm sending back this Blackmagic. No, it's nothing wrong with these cameras. It's no reason for you to feel upset or think that this camera shoots bad or it's not worth it. This camera is definitely worth it. I just unfortunately got a bad one out the batch. This is kind of my opening to me about to get ready to give y'all a few reviews of this camera. But go check out a video I just did with Brandon. Go check out B-Wash Media and see the video that I collabed with him and a couple of the creators talking about the reasons why we do like our cameras. And be ready for me to drop a couple more tips and tutorials about this camera and the rest of my gear. If y'all have any questions, please leave a comment down below. If you have any things that you'd like me to go over about this camera, please leave a comment below. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe because I'll have more videos coming soon. And thank you guys for watching, and see y'all later. Peace.